What's up, everyone? How are you guys doing?
Hello.
It's Emmanuel. I'm a friend Lee, and today we're going to talk delays basically, but not any random delay. This is like something that is something we've worked on for ages, isn't it, Lee?
It certainly is, man. You're pointing to something they can't see because my face is in the way. Let me move my face out the way. There we go.
All right. These are two pedals that look pretty similar, but that in the end do act pretty different. It's the Boss DD7 and the DD8.
Today we're going to talk you.
So yeah, we're going Boss exclusive today, but these pedals, we put so much work into these pedals that we thought that it might be just a nice thing to talk you through these pedals. And these are not the easiest one to handle as well, right? So I think we'll need the whole episode to explain people what you can do with these guys. So Lee, I think it's fair to say that you are a Boss fanatic or something like that.
I like a Boss pedal. No, I've got enough of them for you to be accurate in what you're saying. I think it's yeah. You know what? It's become very apparent to me over the last week that a lot of people have found that with Tonepedia, you're able to find out how a pedal works and get more of a feel for it. So there's some really complicated pedals that are on Tonepedia, and some companies have used the players as like instead of saying this control does this, you can actually go in and find out yourself. And that's going to be particularly good with these because they have got a lot of modes to them, a hell of a lot.
Yeah, there's many knobs and modes to confuse people, but that is why you got what you got Tonepedia for, right? To check out how people how pedals fit your rig and your style and everything. So can you explain me, because I literally know nothing about these pedals. These are way too complicated for me as a metal guitar player and like the amount of notes I play, it's not that a delay is that mega important for that type of playing.
Yeah, sure.
So
let's do that. Let's give you let's give the users a little bit of a chance to. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the close-up cam over in front of us too, so we can see that a little bit clearer. All right, okay. So look, this is the big question that people want to know. Not only is what is a DD8, but for those who are familiar with the digital delay series, how does the DD8 stack up against a DD7? And why should you go for one over the other? Because let's face it, the DD7's been around for ages. It was absolutely groundbreaking, and it's on lots and lots of people's boards. What does the DD8 offer that's different? So I think that's going to be the big one for it. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a little bit of history of the digital delay, because these bad boys have been around since, I think, the very late 70s into the early 80s, and then you had the DD2 come out. I don't think there was ever a DD1. The DD2 was basically they rubbed out the 2 and put a 3, because it was the same thing and just changed the names of the stereo jacks. So instead of saying stereo, they went to mono out. I believe no, it wasn't mono out. I think it was bypass out or something along those lines on the DD3s. And then they went through, and then they've recently, well, in the 90s, they brought out some other different upgrades for that because chips ran out and these sort of things. But now what we have is the DD3T, which came out recently, which is a tap tempo version of the DD3. I don't know what's going on with your camera, mate, but you keep going really small. We can't win with cameras. We really can't get good quality.
Actually, I'm a big boy, you know. So it's funny that I'm getting small. But anyway, so you being a pedal expert, can you explain the difference? Like, first of all, because there might be, some beginners that are watching today. Can you first of all explain the difference between a digital delay and an analog delay?
I think we can do better than that. I think we can show the difference, because the very first 2 settings on the DD8, the first one is analog and the second one is, I think, standard. I haven't got a picture.
The first one is loop, and then we have analog.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so come past the loop. We won't bother about the looper at the moment, because you just gave away a big reason to get the DD8 over the DD7, man.
Oh, well, that wasn't on purpose.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
so let's hear the analog.
Okay, analog setting now. Shall I turn everything to 12 o'clock?
Yep, and then just hit a chord and let it do its thing. Let it do its repeat, and then go over to standard, and then do exactly the same thing. So just hit an A chord, and what you'll hear is as the delays go on, you'll hear more degradation on the analog.
Okay, so let me hit a chord. Okay.
Now do.
What is that? What is happening?
We'll put it onto the standard now, and you'll hear the difference.
Standard now.
Now go back.
Okay, so what I can hear is that on the analog mode, it's kind of like it's doing something with the sound. It's not just a simple repetition of what has been played before, but in some way it's doing something like, I can't describe it, but it's something like a filter or so.
Yeah, it is. Basically, what's happening is it's trying to replicate how tape delays sound once the tape gets a little bit worn. So the repeats don't sound all that great on the second repeat, third repeat, fourth repeat. It's a bit like, think of it like this. If you photocopy a photocopy, and then you photocopy that photocopy again, and then you get that 10 down the line, and the last one's crap. Okay. If each repeat is a repeat of the one before, and it gets a little bit worse down the line, then it goes ding, 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 ding. Like that.
Well, that's a very good description, and something like how I can imagine it. Like when you're doing it digitally, like if I'm if I'm having a digital photo, a PNG file or something, I copy it onto a USB stick, and then from that stick, I copy it to another computer. It's literally like the same file, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's clever. Wow. I learned something today already after 5 minutes. Cool. But actually, I prefer the analog over the digital, like subjectively, because it's cool somehow, like the way it changes. It has a certain style, or you know, certain uniqueness.
That's fine. To say one's better than the other is a complete misnomer. I'm probably using the wrong word there, but you know, people associate things like digital delays, like the TC2290 and stuff like that, with people like the Edge. But Malmsteen uses a DD3.
Oh, interesting.
So they have their place, and one of the beautiful things about a digital delay is they will, they give you that crystal clear repeats. Now the DD3 traditionally isn't actually an analog delay, really. It has a digital delay. It's an analog pedal, but it has a digital chip in there. So it's a bit of both. So that's why a lot of people really love it. It kind of fits into that nice sort of realm. It's one pedal I don't have, actually. I don't have a DD3. I've got a DD500, which is the big daddy of these. So it's got all that built in, but I don't have a DD3 on its own.
Oh, like that's something that doesn't happen very often, like a pedal that you don't own.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we know the difference between analog and standard, can you explain us why there are different in and outs on both of the pedals? Like on output and input A, it says mono in brackets. It doesn't say so on output B. So probably one is mono, one is stereo, right?
Well, you worked that one out for yourself.
and like what like can you explain for a beginner like how the difference, how you could tell the difference?
The famous one would be something like ping pong. So with a ping pong delay, what happens is, if you imagine you're watching someone play two people play ping pong, unless it's the Flash and he's going to playing himself, but you're watching two people play ping pong. Every time you hear them hit the ball, one's over there, and then it goes backwards and forwards. So the ping pong delays were like the first sort of stereo delays that I know of anyway. And what happened is you would set it up in stereo, and when you hit it, one delay would happen over there, one delay would happen over there. What started to happen as well was you would have a drive-through. So you would have 2 amps. One didn't get the delayed signal and one did. So you'd have one just playing normally and the other one going ding, ding, ding. That's a really nice wet dry effect, and a lot of people like that, including myself sometimes. So
would that also work if you would just like go straight into an amp with like just the usual cap, like 1 amp, 1 cap? Could you get that ping pong thing? Probably not, right?
Not really. You can get some amps. Orange makes some, and there are some other famous models out there that are amps that take stereo inputs and usually they have 2 output stages, and they have 2 drivers for 2 different speakers. So they have the stereo speakers, and they're on different drivers, and you can run them. But the thing about stereo is space. So what you want is, and my rig, this is one of my, and the other one is like well over there, and it's about 2 meters away from me. And I stand in the middle, and it's like dung, 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 and that's why that's what you want. So yeah, you can run it onto 1 amp, but really you want a proper stereo rig.
Okay, that's cool. That's something I do all the time on my computer, in my DAW, like when I'm doing post editing and stuff like that. But it's very nice to know that there are some pedals who give you that option. I think that, like, especially like in nowadays, where people are going digital a lot that might be something that can literally like upgrade your rig with very little effort. Like if you're using whatever next effects or something like that, then you could use that stereo option pretty easy, I guess. If I'm now thinking right. So,
could you do me a big favor just before you carry on? See the DD7? Could you turn it around just a little bit, just so the light does? There we go, a little bit more, and then the writing will be a bit clearer for people. There we go. So what we really need to do is talk about the modes that are available on the DD7 versus the modes that are available on a DD8, because the DD7 has a breakdown in times that don't feature as clearly on the DD8. So what are the times that are broken down on the digital delay side of the DD7?
All right, we got the first thing is 3,200 milliseconds. Then we got 800 milliseconds. Then we got 200, and then we got 50. The next thing would be hold in the middle.
Okay, so that works like a freeze, a bit like the Game Changer Audio or the Plus Pedal or the Electro Harmix freeze, so you can hold your note. I believe that's how it works. I don't own a DD7, but
we can find it out.
Yeah, put it on hold then. Let's try. I think it's going to be a momentary switch system. Is it on hold?
So let me go for hold. That is hold.
Yep. Now if you press the switch.
It's doing something.
So it will hold.
Now we're going to turn it up again.
It will hold the note that you play. So play a note, and then hold the pedal.
Okay.
Mind blown.
It's something that, me as a tone media person, it's something that I like. Cool. Very, very, very funny feature. I mean, I can't think of me using that thing when I'm gigging.
Okay, so think about this, right? You hit an E, lots of reverb on it and these sort of things. And maybe you've got it only coming out of one of the jacks. So then you've got your dry guitar coming out of another. And you're just playing over it, so you're playing like pedal tone almost.
Okay, so like almost, you're almost using it in a way you would use like a looper or so, right?
Kinda, yeah, but more interactive. I have a pedal, a single pedal that's dedicated just to that. So it
might be nice if you got like play a guitar solo and you want to have something underneath it. Like to not make it sound empty or so. Like play an E chord, then hold it, and then go for a shred over it or something like that.
All right, okay. Picture this, right? You're playing a solo. You're playing a blinding bit of lead. You're going, and then at the end you do this massive bend. And at the end of the bend you hold it, and that note goes, and then you come in as that note's being held with the next lick.
Shall we try live on air?
No, because it's on there and you won't be able to do it.
All right. Okay. You just saved me from being embarrassed. Okay, that is hold. Now let's go for 50 milliseconds. So tell me what to do. I got clean, I got crunch, I got lead, I got rhythm from this beautiful amplifier, the Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200. What to play and on what channel?
Bar's got everything. Okay, so that's completely up to you. I think we should go through what the differences are on the on the settings, on the options, because that's where the biggest difference is. So where you've got the 3 different time settings for on the DD7, what have we got instead on the DD8?
Well, while we're having the time setting, it's actually 4 different time settings plus hold.
Yep.
While we got that on the DD7, we have loop, analog, standard tape, and warm on the DD8.
Okay, so what we want to know is what is the difference between tape, analog, and warm? Because they should all be in the same sort of ballpark. Have we swapped a whole load of different digital options for a whole lot of different analog options? That's what we want to see, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
So let's try that then. Let's see what the different analog options. So we could try the analog, try the warm, and try the tape.
All right, then let me turn off the DD7. Oh, that is going to happen another time today. So let me start with warm then. Okay. Warm, everything else on 12 o'clock. It sounds familiar. I could work with that.
Can you just play a chord?
Yes, like.
Just play it. Yeah. So that sounds like. Brilliant. Right, that sounds more like a digital delay, but the repeats are warmer rather than being crisp. They're a bit more rounder, and other adjectives.
Cool. Let's go for tape then. Now. Okay, that's sounding a little different, but to be honest, like, I couldn't tell you the difference if I wouldn't know that I just switched.
Just play one chord and listen to it degrade.
I got it.
So it's got that loss in quality, and then.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Got it. Cool. Now standard.
Go back to analog, because that's going to be the one that's going to be the one that sounds the most familiar with these.
Yes, but on that one, it's the effect's pretty much the same as on tape, but it's way more intense. Like, you can tell straight away after the second time it repeats the note that this is analog. Yeah. Okay. What to expect from standard?
What to expect from standard? Standard is just going to be your DD, your digital delay. Let's hear that versus the digital delay settings on the DD7 then.
All right, so let's.
All right.
Let's start. We start with hold. We got hold. Now let's start with 50 milliseconds on the DD7. So. It's a very short delay time.
Oh yeah. 50 milliseconds is basically a slapback like you get on country music.
Yeah, it sounds like latency or something like that. Could this possibly work? It's getting like maybe you can't really tell that it's there on the clean setting if you're not experienced with that type of sound, but you can definitely tell when you're playing with gain. Like this is the crunch channel. So, is it fair to say that gain increases the effect?
Gain's
somehow.
Gain's always going to increase how a delay reacts. You put it on any delay setting, and you're going to get more repeats and a more pronounced delay. Like it's going to have more effect dialed into it, so a wetter sound as you put more gain into it. That's standard. That will always happen.
Okay, I'm not a country player, but let's see if we can really tell the difference when we're playing country-ish.
Get your single coils on, man. Let's see if we can get that exact sound at the DD8. So if we go back to the DD8, turn the repeats all the way down.
Repeats. Oh, where do you got the repeats? I got time, feedback, level.
So feedback is the repeats.
Okay, all the way down.
So the feedback all the way down. Turn the time all the way down.
Yeah, something happened to. Okay, having a little. Okay, now it's working. Cool. Sorry.
He didn't say daisy chain. We never use daisy chains.
So why is that a sin? Okay.
Turn the time all the way down.
Time all the way down. Feedback all the way down. And now, what else?
What's the first one? Effects level. Turn the effect level up to about 2 o'clock.
Got it.
See how that sounds? Because we're going to have to dial in a tiny. It's incremental, really, really, really small movements. We're going to have to dial in for the time and the repeat. Okay. So you're going to have to move it like a millimeter at most.
Sounds like it's. Wow, I can't. Well, it's hard to play as a metal guitar player with a sound like
Turn the effect down.
It sounds good. Effect down. Well, okay. I think we should turn it up again. Yeah, that's a good set. It's getting pretty close. Like this is the D7. Now, if we compare it head to head, D7. The DD8. Oh.
This is great radio. I've got a pick in my mouth and I'm gonna go.
If I now start to sing about like trucks and dogs and dry bottles, then it's getting really authentic.
Do you know what? Viewers, tell us, what do you think of that riff that Emmanuel has come up with? Because this guy's a shredder, and I think that sounds brilliant. I think that sounds really, really good. I like that.
It's literally the only country-like thing and it's my riff. It's not cover or so, but I came up with that like 10 years ago, and every time I need to play country, I'm trying to get this together somehow. But all right. I think it works on both of them. I mean, if we're going to go through some of these different modes on the DD8, and might get even a little closer to what we got on the DD7. But I think you can go for the exact same. Like, how do you call it? Like snapback?
Slapback.
Snapback is also, that sounds like an app. Snapchat. Yeah. It's Snapchat. It's not Snapback. It's Snapchat. Yeah, but you can get that slapback feeling on both of them. Cool. So if you're a country guy,
I think
both of them.
I think what people want to know is, can I get the sounds that I can get on my DD7 from a DD8, and what else does it offer? So I think what we're showing there is, yes, if you really love those digital sounds, you can get that. But let's see, what else does the on the bottom half of the modes, what have we got there, Emmanuel? Because we've got some very special stuff coming on.
Yeah, so on the DD8, in the middle, we got reverse, which now grabbed my attention.
I can't wait to hear you play reverse. You're going to get so lost now. This is going to be a case of watching someone just watching a friend struggle. Nothing better.
Well, then the next thing is plus RV.
No, come on, stick the reverse on and let's see what happens.
Reverse, okay. So everything 12 o'clock, reverse, clean sound. Let's go for it.
People tuning in now are thinking, what is going on?
Well, you know what? Like when I'm producing with the bands that I'm working for.
Oh, are you still here, son?
Go for a reverse reverb. Like if we're hitting the chorus, and then what I usually do is I have that one sample of a shotgun, which is like boom. And what I do is take this and now like imagine like everything is you have a really like an exciting chord progression, something that ends on a seventh or something, and that is the reverse reverb on that shotgun or whatever. That's what I do all the time. But it's such a different feeling to play guitar with that. But I think like the stuff that I was going for, like doing diminished arpeggios and like what is the other one? Like diminished is if you have two minor thirds on top of each other. What how do you call it when you have two major thirds on each other? Augmented, right. Diminished and augmented stuff works perfect with that reverse mode. I think it's sounded very spooky, creepy.
Do you know how to play Sweet Child of Mine?
Well, it has been some years.
Right. Play it really, really slowly, but turn the effect all the way up. So turn the effects level all the way up. So it should take your dry guitar out of it. Do you know how
sounds like an outro? So.
Do you know how you learn things like that? You learn things like that by not learning how to play guitar properly and messing around with pedals.
You know what I was thinking when we started today's stream is like on YouTube we are about to hit 1,000 subscribers very soon. I was like, okay, like the time that we have 1,000 subs, we must pay attention to not getting any copyright claims if we're monetizing our videos. And I was like, you know, if I now play Sweet Child of Mine with that exact setting on, we don't need to care about any copyright issues because you can't tell that was meant to be Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do that for all sorts of different things, different picking songs. It's crazy fun. It really is. Okay, what was the next mode? So what was the next mode on the DD7? What was the equivalent mode on the DD7 there?
I'll answer that very soon, but I need to try something out.
Okay.
Like let's make a little game with you and the viewers. So I'm now playing random themes that everyone should know, and you guys need to tell me what I'm actually playing, right? Chris. Stuff that everyone should know.
Is that Star Wars?
All right, that was the first goal. Now, how about...
Oh, I totally recognise that, but I can't think of what it is. Let me look through the comments.
Okay.
Oh, that's good, man.
That's awesome. That's going to be a drinking game on my next house party.
No, the Trooper. Oh, I'll tell you what, Bob. That was a really good guess because it was a very similar sort of thing. But no, it was Jack Sparrow. That is not how Jack Sparrow talks.
Not at all. Yeah. I thought I would be polite and not say that, but okay. Now, next thing we got here is plus RV. What is that?
What do you think it might be? Do you think a massive, great big camper van is going to pull up outside, or do you think it might be Reverb? So effectively, it's layering an element of reverb onto the delay. Remember, you've got the effects all the way up, so it's killing your dry.
Yeah, right. But it's adding the reverb on top of the standard digital delay, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, sounds like that. Okay. I'm in a really goofy mood now because.
Pardon?
I'm struggling to find words, but it's something that makes me be goofy and funny, and just want to have a good time with this pedal.
They are. What's crazy about this is, although it's got all these modes, it's really simple. There's no deep dive options or anything along those lines. You go on to your option, and then you've got most of the controls there. There are some extras that we'll go to in a minute, but what Boss have done really cleverly is they've absolutely covered the delay market. You've got their analog delays. You've got the RE201s. Which is obviously it's a digital version of the old Space Echo, but it's still a great pedal. And they've you can go and buy Space Echoes if you want, if you can find an old one, but Boss obviously aren't making them anymore, although other people make similar things. But then you've got the DD3s, so you've got the digital delay layers, and making them anymore, although other people make similar things. But then you've got the DD3s, so you've got the digital delay layers, then you've got the DD8s. Then from there you move up and you've got the DD200, and then from that you go over to what I've got, because I love delay, and the DD500. And what this is the most powerful compact pedal Boss has ever made. So
it's kind of like the history of delay pedals from Boss in one pedal, right?
Yeah, you think about it, most companies have a delay pedal. Even the mighty MXR, right? You think about their delays, they've got the carbon copy. They've got a couple of versions of the carbon copy now, but they're all the carbon copy, which is an analog delay. I don't even think they make a digital delay. Boss make every type of delay. And they're pretty much all on Timepedia as well. So if you want to A/B them and see which one you like the most, go on there. And they've got the Wazacraft ones as well. So yeah, pretty bloody good. So
from my perspective, I mean, if you're just going for a very plain delay sound that will make your like what I use delay for is basically if I'm playing lead guitar, I want to make it sound a little more like a little wider. You know what I mean? Like not as dry, but just a little like more processed, so to say, so that it sounds like an album sound. That you add a little epicness and atmosphere to that. And this pedal can easily do it. And most of the functions are functions that are for, I hope it's fair to say, like people like you that want to sit down with their pedal and want to spend an evening trying everything out and want to be creative with that pedal. Like want to have a tool that helps and motivates them to try out different styles of music or stuff like that. So this is not a straightforward work in house only. I mean, you can use it like in that way, but it's also something to try to expand your creativity and to explore new horizons, so to say. I'm sounding very stupid right now.
No,
but
I kind of see it a little bit differently. I think this is a very, very good tool if you want something to be able to use in the studio to get loads of effects out of it, but also something that's simple enough to take on the road and fit onto your pedal board, and it's not going to take up much space.
Yeah, and that is what I was about to mention, because that is a feature that I, as a touring guitar player that is more or less straightforward when it comes to his rig, really admire, is that it has reverb built in. So I can easily replace another pedal on my board with that if I just want to have an epic solo sound. Reverb, delay, boom, that's it, one pedal, go for it. So that's a cool thing for me. So now next thing we're having is Shim, which is probably Shimmer, something like that,
what's
right?
What's the option on the DD7 for where the reverb is?
Oops, so we got, what do we get? Let me see. Now we had reverse and then reverb, and here we're having, it's not working like that. Modulate.
Modulate. So modulate would be what Shimmer has replaced, I'd imagine. People modulate's kind of like a similar sort of idea to Shimmer, but Shimmer's got the higher octaves and these sort of things. So it would be good to A/B between them.
That's what I was about to suggest. So are we at modulate? Yeah, it's hard to see though. That was my phone. That wasn't modulate. So
I really thought it was the effect.
No, it was, I don't know, some new guitar on eBay or shit like that. Okay, so this is Shimmer. What?
Try your mysterious chords. Let's have the effects up a little bit. The effect level up a bit, yeah.
No, but again,
try the mysterious chords again.
Very funny to mess around with that. So let's go for a similar setting on the DD7. Modulate, effects level up a little, and then let's go for they sound very similar to each other by both of the modes, but while this one sounds like a more pure delay, this one adds something on top, as you said, like probably octaves and stuff like that.
Shimmer is an upper octave kind of reverb.
That was a very nice experience to play with the Shimmer. I mean, both of them sound very great, but that one is something that right now, like, turn me on a little more.
Do you need some space, mate?
Yeah. Okay, so next thing we're having is mod, which stands for modulation.
Have we got a modulation on there as well? Okay, that's interesting. Wow. Let's hear that.
It's exactly the same as mod on the DD7.
Perfect. Okay. So you don't lose out.
We just have an extra mode. on the DV8. That's cool. So after mod, we got, what do we have there? Rap. No, it's warp. Sorry, it's not rap. Warp. I'm hungry, you know. I'm about to have dinner.
So warp is a really cool function that is on the DD500, and you can set it up to a button. You can like press it and hold it and set it as a momentary thing. So is there a momentary setting for the warp feature? Can you, if you press, just play a chord and then hold the pedal down. Right, and then let go. Yeah, so it holds it. Yeah, I thought it might be. So that's a really cool feature. Yeah, you know, I reckon if you were to turn the time up on that and the feedback, what will happen is it will start going whoop 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 whoop, because that's.
I was entering other dimensions. You know, that is. I mean, guys, if you want to get high, just don't buy shitty things like drugs. Just buy one of these pedals and then play some notes and hold it down and mess around with that, because that was an awesome experience. It created so much suspense. Like, you know, could you feel the excitement of the notes? It was rising all the time, and then, you know, it wasn't. It's you know, I can't find words because I've never ever sat down with a delay pedal like that and played around with that. So it's really exciting. It's just really an exciting experience.
So a chap called Aram has asked, can it self-oscillate? So are you talking about the warp, or are you talking about which setting? Because it definitely can self-oscillate, and if you go onto the player on timepedia.com, you'll be able to use it and put it into self-oscillation mode. I say self-oscillation mode, you just basically set the feedback really high and set the time really low and it will self-oscillate. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at the end we can go through every single mode very quickly and see if all of them self-oscillate. Because I think we're just about to hit the very last mode, other than it's not so secret tool that Emmanuel mentioned earlier.
So, GLT. What is GLT?
Have a play. It's
good love,
I believe
good lovely tone.
I believe it's a momentary thing. So yeah, basically just play a chord and then hit it and find out what happens.
I'm trying to go for like bum 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 bum, you know, like
yeah.
So this is how a DJ must feel.
So one of the really cool features of a lot of the Boss pedals, and I believe including this one, is the remote out. So is the bottom output on the right side, is that a remote switch?
we got a expression, like
Yep.
tempo/expression. That's a remote, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can run a separate switch out, so you don't have to be leaning over to touch that. You can have if you've got it on your board and it's at the top, for instance, you can have a little switch down the bottom, and you can use that for your tap tempo. And you can actually set a lot of these to tap tempo by holding the switch down for, I think it's about 3 seconds, and then you can tap the tap tempo in. So the big thing that this one has over the DD7 is the fact it's got a looper built into it. I'm not going to ask Emmanuel to make a loop, because making a loop with your hand, as anyone who's ever tried will know, is a pain in the backside, because you get massive spaces either side, and it just sounds rubbish. So,
and how would that work to get a loop?
You will have to look at the instructions. They'll work differently. I imagine it's going to work in a very similar way to the RC3 or the Ditto looper. But I've not studied that pedal in regards of looping, so I don't know.
All right. But, what I think, and this is just my humble opinion, and everyone knows that I'm not a delay expert, but I think this pedal has everything that this pedal has, plus some extra functions on top.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think there's much in it in terms of price. I think they're going to be priced much the same. I haven't actually looked, so I'm assuming there. But
that's what God made smartphones for. So let me take a look for Germany. So there's a little company called Just Music.
So yeah, I think if I was going to go for one, I'd go for the DD7. DD8. It's completely up to you if you've got a DD7 whether you should or shouldn't update to the DD8. I probably would, but I'm a pedal whore, so it is what it is. But I can see there's a lot of advantages over the DD7 in the DD8. They really have gone all aboard. And the DD7 has and always will be a fantastic pedal. It really will. I can see a lot of the DD7s going up on the marketplace cheap. And if you're after a very, very good delay, a very low second-hand price, you'll grab one of them. If you're looking to get the best, latest compact delay, go for the DD8. And I don't think we're going to see a more powerful compact delay come out. Whether I'm talking about ever, or I don't know, but I don't think there's anything more that you could need.
Well, let's wait a couple of years for the DD9. Maybe it can also make coffee and I don't know, speak to you, give you advice for your life.
If someone makes a pedal that can make coffee, and don't say cafetiere, because I've got one over there, but don't say cafetiere. But if someone makes a pedal that can make me coffee, I will buy it. I will sell it. I will promote this. I will change my entire career around.
I will marry it. No, I just looked up the prices for Germani, and it's 139 for the DD7 and 159 for the DD8. So a difference of 20 euros, and probably it's about the same in the US or wherever you're living. So it's actually pretty close to each other.
For a looper and the additional shimmer and the additional reverb and delay together, that ain't bad, is it?
That is actually it's like €5 per mode. Can you imagine that? Like €5. It's like, if you're at some pizza stores, there's you can add a topping for €2, and probably the boss was motivated by that. Let's add another effect into that people might spend €100 on for €5 into that already existing pedal. No, but. Actually, that's I expected this pedal to be way more expensive, because, a looper. Come on, what do you pay for a looper? Only, Well,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So Samuel King said it can use a 2-button foot switch as well. So you'll have a TRS cable, a foot switch, and a foot switch that will look something like that.
Switch.
So you'll have 2 of them, and then you'll have, I can't see a TRS cable around here somewhere, but you have TRS cable coming out of there, and it will go into that, and you can have this ease of reach, not advertising Tate Effects. So, yeah. I don't even think he makes these anymore. Yeah, and then you can put that in, and the second one will do the warp time function and these sort of things. So yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's put the time all the way down, the feedback all the way up, and see if all of these modes will oscillate, and then we'll finish on that, shall we?
Sounds good. Now.
Well, we'll find out if it sounds good in a minute.
Feedback 100%. Time 0%. And now we are going for what? Want to find out if they?
Let's try every mode and see if every mode will oscillate.
We'll do what?
Just play one note. Well, that didn't work. But oh, did you have it on looper?
Yes, well, loop. One start even before I hit a note. All of them start. My volume is on.
Yeah, it'll need some sort of input signal. You have to hold that one down.
Yes, okay. All of them are, I can't say that word. All of them are going like.
Okay,
even if I Oh, like a Transformers, man. This is the coolest pedal ever because it can make your guitar sound like Optimus Prime.
Just you wait until we get hold of the SY1. I will see if we've got one in the. Have we got one? We should.
No one has one.
Yeah, it's true.
Very hard to get these. Like around Christmas or so, we should definitely do an episode that is like about funny pedals that you can be goofy with. So I wonder if we can ever get a Cork Miku.
I know a man who can. I've got a friend who's got one, and we could probably borrow it off of him.
Okay, so you should introduce us to him.
He actually he is a heavy rock metal player, and he got it to use on an album, and he has as well. I'll link you to his album, man. It's so funny, Alex. If you're watching, man, I've just plugged your album.
Well, what to say, man? I think it's as I said. If you just want to have a solid, good delay and also replace reverb with that pedal, if you're a very practical guy that is just wants to have an easy and good time with his rig, then that's a good choice. If you want to sit down and spend nights and days and months of your life to play around with the pedal, then this is a good way to go. If you want to explore new areas of creativity, if you want to go for new types of sounds to work on your songwriting or whatever, that is also a good option to go. And it's not even expensive. It's like 160 euros, man. That's not much money for a pedal like that.
And don't forget, it's a Boss pedal, so it will last longer than the Earth itself.
Yeah, it's a Boss pedal, so you can probably destroy a Nokia telephone with that.
And we do promise you next week we will not be talking about Boss.
Yeah.
But we had to.
No,
we had to. So look, what I want you all to do, okay, just promise me this. Go on Tonepedia, choose the DD8, the DD7, and have a play of them yourself and see what the difference is for yourself, because you'll be able to hear them. Remember, it's all real recordings on there. Everything is recorded for real. It's these actual pedals that you see in front of you that you will be playing on Tonepedia. Go on there and try it for yourself.
Yes, because in the end, we don't know what pedal fits you the best. You are the only person who knows that. And on Tonepedia, there's no one who tells you buy this or buy that. It's just
apart from us just
gear.
now.
Sorry?
Apart from us just now.
Well, we were talking about delays, so no, but you know, go there, check it out, have a good time, and yeah, maybe that was an interesting pedal for you to hear and see.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any question that we should answer, or anything from the audience?
Aram said, "Thank you. That was nice for that." Samuel was talking about the remote switching. My friend Terry Hatcher, he works in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, believe it or not. He said he bets Joe Walsh should be trying one of them out. You are the next Mohammed Sober. I think that's when you were playing the really slow stuff. Yeah, it's kind of like generally. Some people were saying like some of the settings were a lot more crisper in comparison. This is when we were switching around the difference between the analog and the analog and digital. And things like that, and yeah, just other than that, just generally everyone's saying how much they love me, and yeah, and thank you, it means a lot to me. They don't like you, no, I'm joking. Right, okay, look.
All right, cool. So I guess that's it for today. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Go to Tonepedia. I don't know if we said it before. Go to Tonepedia, check out our pedals from Boss, from any other manufacturer. And yeah, let's have a great time. Do some good music. Drink some beer. Enjoy the weather.
Oh, beer sounds like a really good idea. And I think I've got a couple in the fridge. So hot today. So hot last couple of days. Right, okay. Yeah, and thank you very much from me as well. See you all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.